First, I am don't know why. Okay, I can't find it. So weird. There it is. I should probably be live on Twitch right now. Okay. And Facebook is not quite there yet, but it'll be there in just a second. Oops. Okay. And I seem to have lost Facebook while I'm at it, so let me fix this. Okay, hi Linda. I've been told I need to say hi to Linda, so I'm saying hi to Linda. If you're watching a recording of this, do fast forward. I'm going to start in about 2 minutes. It's going to be a couple minutes late today. I've been on hold. Okay, Facebook Live looks like it's starting to connect. I have been on hold with OMG, the camera manufacturer, because something up with the video. And looks like I'm going to have to return this camera, but they don't have one to replace it with. Oh my gosh, right? This is my life. Holy cow. Okay, so I think we are live on Facebook at this point. We're pretty close. So give me another second here. It's starting to load. Yep, it should be loading now. Okay, yay. We are good on both. So Facebook, let's see, what else am I showing here? I think, oh, jeez, forgot my glasses. Oh, what else is going on? Okay, so Facebook, YouTube, and Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. That's right. I can't even remember what the heck I'm on anymore. Holy moly. Okay, yeah, we were a little behind today because I was literally on the phone on hold with Canon with my camera because there's a small little issue. I know you guys see it. This line that comes through every so often on the screen. And they tell me, yep, indeed, I am correct. Or whoever pointed that out, I think it was Debbie pointed out that it is, it's a defect. So I need to return this, although they have nothing that they can replace it with. Oh, great. So we're going to go up with the defect for a little while until they tell me that they can replace it. And then we sort of go from there. I think we go back to the old system for a little while. And anyway, that's my story. Are you ready, honey? You ready to do this? Okay, so is everybody else ready to do this? Hey, check this out. Sort of interesting. I'm magnetized. Didn't realize one of these two is magnetized. I'm guessing, oh, yeah, I'm playing around. I'm guessing it's my file. Anyway, so weird. All right, that's it. All right, let's get started. Today is Wednesday, October 14th. It's step-by-step surprise. If you are new, welcome. Thanks for joining me on Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch. Thanks to everyone who's on Twitch and is a subscriber. Really appreciate your support. It is one way that we are able to do what we're doing, to continue to do what we're doing during this interesting time at week 30. Step-by-step surprise, if you've not done it before, is basically a surprise project. They're sort of work-along projects in that you order a kit. I don't tell you what's in it. I don't even tell you what kind of project it is. You usually just have a choice between sterling silver and copper, whichever your budget allows you to have. And and through a couple of weeks, I reveal the project a little at a time. We haven't done this in a few weeks because I've been busy and out of the state and traveling and doing stuff. But speaking of which, by the way, traveling and being busy, it looks like I will be in White Plains, New York here at the end of the month, October 31st through November 1st, right? 31st, yeah, Saturday, Sunday. I think there's classes on Friday too. Looks like we have enough to go ahead and have me drive the 8 hours out there and do some classes. So that's pretty exciting stuff. If you haven't registered, do register. So if you're concerned, of course, as we all are, about our safety and COVID, I will share this with you. I have made a commitment to the facility that I will be quarantining. So I'm going to start quarantining as of this weekend for the next 2 weeks before the event. And the space is also pretty big from what I understand. It's about 2,000 square feet of open space in a basement. And there's enough tables and chairs to spread everyone out. And anyway, so that's a scoop. And we're going to keep the tools really disinfected and all that good stuff so that we can all stay safe. So if you are out there, do join me. And, maybe you should quarantine too before you come out to my classes. That would be nice. But anyway, so that's what I have going on, and that's how what's going to happen. You can find the classes are going to be at Bead Everything in White Plains, New York. You can find it listed on the beadeverything.com website, or you can go to the qfomgray.com website, and I do show all the class projects there on my website under that listing. And also what's sort of exciting is I do have 2021 posted. There's, I don't know, probably 6 different things going on next year, which for me is pretty exciting just to be able to start planning the future. And we don't know what's going to happen, but at least we're planning for something, right? Instead of doing nothing. Although you have to say doing nothing is sort of fun too. That's another story. All right, so let's get started. So what are you going to need today? There's a bunch of things that you need today. You're going to need a ring mandrel, although we are not making a ring today. Just saying. If you don't have a ring mandrel, you can use like a 1-inch dowel rod. We're just using it to shape and form a little bit. So you can use a 1-inch dowel rod if you have that. And we're going to set these tools aside as we go. Tweezers are going to be your friend today. Trust me on that. A ruler, metal ruler. I always like metal rulers. A file is going to be good. Pliers. I have all kinds of pliers here, and I'll be using all of them. So a really, really small round nose plier is great. I love my Lindstrom because I think that they are the smallest in the industry. And then just a chain nose and my multi-looping plier that helps me make things consistent. So you'll want that. Some bezel shears because we're going to be cutting some sheet metal today. A divider. If you don't have a divider, that's where the metal ruler becomes your friend. And then let me think about this. Oh, sorry. A bench block is also good for today, and a leather mallet. A little one, a big one, it doesn't matter. You need one, okay? So we'll start with that. All right, so let's jump in. So first of all, you have a piece of sheet metal. And by the way, if you're wondering what all the materials are, I don't reveal that. You have to order the kit to get all the little details and to get the instructions. The instructions for this is not downloadable without purchase of the kit, okay? That's my little angle for Wednesday step-by-step surprises. So if you did order a kit, you either ordered it in silver or in copper. I'm going to work in sort of both today. So we'll start with the copper, okay? So first things first, you're going to cut 2 strips, same size, at 3/16 of an inch, right? So about there. Just under half an inch. I'm sorry, just under a quarter of an inch is what you're going to do. So we're going to cut 2 strips. So with a divider, what I'm doing is I'm taking one end, I put it on the outside, and I'm scoring my sheet metal so that I have a line to work with. I think you can see that. There you go. Okay, and we'll pull out our shears, and we're going to cut that nice and straight. If you have a guillotine cutter or a bench shear, use it. It's a really good thing. Okay, and then we're going to do that again. So you'll need 2 of them. Okay. And that should leave you just enough material left over for the other part. And we'll just set that aside. Okay, so we're going to set that aside. And we have these two pieces. And of course, it's all curled up, so we'll flatten it. So just put it on your bench block and flatten that nicely. Okay. All right. Just like so. And then we'll set that aside. All right, then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to make some scrolls. Okay. You see that? Actually, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit. Okay, so we're going to make some scrolls, and it's up to you if you want to make this design or another design. You may have seen in your email, for those who are registered for this project, you may have seen the email last evening, and I sent out the pattern so that you can follow along. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the wire. You have two pieces of wire, a long one and a short one. So we're going to use the long. So we're going to use the long one. Okay. I'm in a little tight, sorry. I'm gonna have to pull that out a little bit here. There. Okay, so we're gonna use the long one. The short one we'll reserve for later, just so you know. Okay, sorry, let's see. Cutters. I forgot to pull out cutters. All right, so we're gonna cut this at about 1.5 inches. All right, like so. And first thing we'll do is we're going to make approximately a 3 millimeter loop, okay? So, I'm sorry, approximately a 4 millimeter loop. So we're gonna go ahead and use the third one on a multi-looping plier. And we're just going to make a really nice loop like so. And you wanna work in, is it the third one? Did I do that wrong? I did that wrong. Wait. Oh, sorry, it's the second one. So you're making a 4 millimeter loop on that second size. We're gonna make more than one, so you do wanna work in pairs, because this way you'll make sure that they are all the same, okay? So again, we're gonna cut this at 1.5 inches. And we'll make the second one. You know, did I cut that wrong? I cut that right. Okay, there it is. Okay, so here we go. We'll make it that second loop again. And we'll match these up like so. See? So they're the same. Okay. And then we're going to go from the top of this approximately 10 millimeters down to the other end. This is where I'm going to pull out my really tiny little pair of pliers here, round nose, and I'm going to make a twist. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go right over and cross over it. Just like so. You see that? Just like that. Okay? And I'll do it again on the other one. And I'm going to match it up so you can see. I'm going to match it up and do the same. And I just try to keep these things even. Okay? And we're gonna go right over like so. All right, so these should look like so. More or less the same, right? I'm gonna tighten that up a little bit. And then I'm gonna go back into the multi-looping plier, and I like using the multi-looping plier for things like this because I'm trying to get everything to be the same size, right? So I'm going to use a little one, and I'm going to go back towards that loop, like so. And notice you can make it into a curly Q if you want to, or push it towards the other one. And it is off-centered, which is great. That's what I was looking for. And push it together. You see that? just like so. We'll do that again. And it's wonky. Don't worry about that. It's not flat. We'll flatten it out. So we'll do the same here. And we're going to take right on the end, just like the other one, and we're going to turn this, turn it, just like so. And making the same type of turn. And then we're going to push this towards the other loop. Okay, so you can see I am slightly off on that second one, right? So we'll fix it. All right, so I'm going to pull this down because I want these loops to be as close as possible. So I noticed that my one loop is a little too big, so I'm making that a little small again. I'm just going to play with it just a little bit. And I switch back and forth between my pliers as needed to make it happen. Right. Okay. Better. A little bit better. There we are. There we are. Okay. So you're going to need, depending on how small you make this and how even you make this, you're going to need 2 or 3 to get this to happen, okay? All right, so here we are. Now, because it is not flat, I'm going to go ahead and put this onto my bench block. And I'm going to flatten it. Just like so. Okay, so you can see, here we are. All right, so I've done this already with my silver. And I'm gonna go ahead and flatten these also. Because I wanna work, in the end, I'm gonna work in silver. I'm doing these little small demonstrations in copper, okay? So that's my story. All right, so if you want to, this is an additional, it's up to you. You can go ahead and hammer these little ends, the crossover. Hammer that down just gently. It's another look, okay? It's at this point you're going to start making decisions on your aesthetics and what is good for you. Okay, so now we have that. Let's start laying it out. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on a honeycomb block. Okay, and this is where your tweezers are going to start coming in. So the curly cues, if the question is how long are they? Let's see. They're about 1/2 inch. Yeah, about 1/2 inch right there. Okay. But we did start with 1.5 inches of wire. Okay. All right, so I've also cut silver strips like I did my copper strips, as you can see here. Okay, I also cut my silver strips in that 3/16 size, and I'm going to go ahead and put them side by side with a gap in between, because what's going to happen, and our goal here is we're going to solder these in between. Now, this project is a bit fickle, okay? Because we have a lot of really small parts, so you need to make sure that you're paying attention to what we're doing here. All right, so another thing you want to note too is the width here, okay, from the outside cannot be more than 3/4. So I'm a little smaller than, which is fine. So I'm at like 5/8. 3/4 would be, you know, I really hate this ruler. Okay. Sorry. Actually, I am. So 3/4 is right here for me, right? So you want to make sure that you're not bigger than that, okay? Because the back plate is only going to be 3/4 inch. If you're bigger, that's fine. We'll trim down the metal. So I'm going to go ahead and pin this in place. So I'm going to pin that there. I'm going to pin that there just to keep it in place for now, okay? And then let's pull out that ruler, make sure that I'm right. Okay, so that's good. Right there. Right there. And okay, so you can see where I'm going with it. I'm basically making lattice work, scroll work, right? And I'm going to end up soldering the scroll work in between. If you, I mean, you know, when I made this, I really wasn't intending on doing hearts, but they turned into hearts. I was really looking for some really fun scroll work, but it is up to you. You can totally do a different design if you want to, or if it's easier for you, you can do a different design. Now, what has to happen though, the key here is you have to bridge the two sides, right? So here, if I'm going to solder here and here on both sides, it is essentially bridging the two sides, and you need to do that all the way down or else they won't stay together. That's all. So that's the big note, and I'm noticing this is not as flat as I want it to be, so give me a second. I'm going to flatten this on the side. Okay, so make sure it's nice and flat and make sure that it's touching. Okie dokie. So there we are. How are we doing with this one? So I'm just double checking everything at this point, making sure that it all fits. Okay, so then what you'll do next is you're going to put solder where it touches, right? Right. Okay, so I need one more pin because that one's floating all over the place. Let's see, so we'll put another pin right here. That should work. Okay, and I'm going to turn this out. I think you can see what I'm doing, right? It makes sense, I hope. Okay, so solder. If you're doing the silver project, we're going to start with hard solder. If you're doing copper, you can go ahead and just use copper. That's fine. And again, this is a really, really finicky, fickle little project with tiny, tiny little joints. So I'm going to put solder right there. Everywhere it touches. It's going to take a minute, so bear with me. And if you want to put solder in between where the loops touch, you can do that too. That's sort of optional. We're going to get plenty on here on the side, so it shouldn't move and shouldn't really matter. It shouldn't matter enough anyway. Okay, you're a little sloppy. There you go. Better. All right. Put some solder there. And then here, and then I'm going to move it into place. Okay. I think you can see that. I know the honeycomb makes it a little bit hard to see. Oops, sorry. Didn't realize that my head was in the way there. You can see all my gray hair, right? And no, we are not going to dye our hair anytime soon. I've decided once you get started, you can't stop, so I don't think I'm going to get started. And besides, it builds character. Okay. So, if this is your first time tuning in, Andy is my producer, and he's telling me everything that you are saying on, or that you're, if you have any questions, he's relaying it to me. He's not telling me everything you're saying, but anyway. Okay, so I'm just ensuring that there's solder and that there's contact and that everybody's going to solder on. All right, so I have 6 points of solder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I have them on both sides to bridge the pieces, the two outside pieces together. That's the goal, okay? So if you decide to do a different scroll, whatever, You just need to make sure that you're bridging both sides with at least one of the pieces. You can make little like details in here, like I could have added a swoosh here too and whatnot. That doesn't have to connect but to one side, but it's along the way you have to connect it. Okay, so next up, let's heat it up. Okay, because it's silver, we're going to heat the whole entire thing. Heat it, and then focus. We'll focus up here first. Try not to melt anything. These are small pieces until it flows. There we are. That one flowed. It's gotta get in there and make a good connection because, yep, we're gonna bend this. Okay, so I can tell you right now, it didn't work. You can see here that solder went this way. It didn't go into my joint, and this has a gap in it. So while it's still hot and the fire scale is not crazy, I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit more solder there. Not going to worry about the mess because I'm going to clean it up later. And I'm going to put some solder here. Okay, and I feel like I should probably go ahead and safeguard it and put a little bit of solder here. All right, and we'll do that again. So this time, I'm going to heat everything again, and I'm actually going to push on this a little bit because I feel like the reason why this bottom one didn't take is because it wasn't touching. So sometimes you sort of just got to help yourself a little bit. And that's what I am doing. There we go. Okay. I think that happened. And I forgot. I apologize. I didn't note here. You want to make sure that you stay within that line, that the scroll does not exceed it. But if it does, we're going to end up cutting it off. Okay. So make sure that you stay in that line on both ends. Got it? All right, don't go touching those pins. They're really hot. So we're just gonna put them aside like so. If you feel better, go ahead and quench them. And so that you don't forget that they're hot. And then we're gonna pull this off. There we go. Okay, first test says it's good. I'm gonna quench it on the side and let's see. So I see there's someone who is in Santa Fe is joining us from the Czech Republic, which is pretty exciting. Yay. Hello out there. Okay, so I'm checking to see that everything has soldered, and it feels like it has. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it into my pickle, set that aside. Wow, that happened a lot easier than I had actually planned. Exciting stuff. Okay, so until I pull that piece out, I'm not going to measure this next piece because I don't want to waste anything, and I want to make sure it's good. It just occurred to me, I need some silver. Okay, I don't need copper, I need silver. So there's my silver. Okay, then I'm going to check the pickle here in a second, and let's see if it's done yet. It should be done. It's pretty hot pickle today. Very nice. Okay, so there's my piece. We'll go ahead and clean that up just a little bit with a brass brush. All right, so couple things you can do here. You can see that my solder has bled, right? So you can pull out your sandpaper, you can sand it now, or you can wait till later, or you can flip it over and use the other side. Either way, it works. I do need cleanup on the back side too, but I think it's fine. Okay, because this will actually end up getting bent, I'm gonna go ahead and double check and make sure it's really nice and solid. Okay. All right. So then I'm going to put it on here, and that's the size I want it to be. All right. So pull out our divider, measure that. Is that right? That's about right. And again, score it just like so. Double check my measurement because I can, and then pull out my shears. We'll go ahead, hold on a second, I'm going to put some tools away here. I have way too many tools on my workbench all of a sudden. This always happens. And we'll go ahead and trim that with our shears. Nice and straight. All right, now we'll flatten it. Okay. And look at that. We're good to go. Pull out your file. We're going to do a little filing. Okay. So you do want to take the time out now to file these edges. It'll be easier than later after we solder these pieces. So I'm just going to go like so. I'm going to take a slight bevel on the corner just to take those sharp corners off. Very slight, so you can see. So I'm almost already done. Okay. And then you'll do the same here for this piece. Slight bit off the corners. If you have any sharp edges, you want to go ahead and take this off now. And as always, I run it at an angle to the edge, to all the edges. Just like so. Okay. Okay, so here comes the scary part. We're going to bend these into a curve. I'm sorry, Andy? Did somebody say that? Oh. Andy said if this works, we're going to play the lottery. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but okay. Is he doubting me? I think he's doubting me. All right, so I'm just going to bend this over. Just gently bend it over. And I'm using the end of my ring mandrel because it seems to be a really nice curve, or the curve that I wanted. So I'm just going to go ahead and use that. Of course, if you have other mandrels and other gadgets that you have, that's fine. You can definitely use all your gadgets because, you know, we all love our tools, right? There it is. So there's my curve. Just a gentle curve. Not too severe, okay? Don't ask me what the angle is. Okay, so like Andy said, if this works, we're going to play the lottery. What's the lottery up to, honey? I don't even know what the lottery is. Okay, so we're going to bend this over. Like so. Look at that. Look at that. All right. Ha, 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 ha. We're playing the lottery tonight. Woo. Okay. And the other thing too about bending it on the handle instead of up here on the mandrel is because this is cylindrical. It should be cylindrical. That is not tapered back here. So that's part of the reason why I'm doing that. But again, you can definitely use a wood dowel rod. Okay, so now I want to make sure that this is flat on both sides, because what's going to happen is this is where we're going with it. Do you see that? This is definitely where we're going with it, and you want to make sure that it's nice and even. So I'm going to put my eyes down here, and I'm going to look and see what we're doing. It actually looks really good. Pretty happy. I'm going to pull out some sandpaper because you've bent this curve up and you don't have a flat surface anymore. So we'll go ahead and on a flat surface, let's gently sand that. If you accidentally screw up your bend, just put it back in the on the mandrel and reshape that. Okay, so we're almost done for today. It went really fast, and then we'll finish up next week. So does anybody have any questions out there? It should make sense. So what is going on next week? So let's see, Friday we've got the Zoom. Next week, oh, we have the paisley. Which one is it, honey? Is it the paisley earrings or paisley ring? Okay, so next week, new project is Monday. For Minimal Metal Monday, we have the paisley earrings. Let's show you guys that, which is right here. I don't know. I love this one. Sometimes, I know there's been over 60 projects. I didn't love them all. This one I do love. Okay, so the paisley earring is going to be on Monday, and then part 2 of this, we'll put all this together and we're going to show you how it's going to sparkle from within. And then on Friday next week is part 2 of the Nova project, which is this one, right? And that's on Zoom. And what else is going on? You should check our Facebook page later today. If you haven't registered for Virtually Ever Crafting, we're giving you a second opportunity for an early bird discount. And I'm going to post that in about an hour or so on the Q Talk Facebook page. By the way, if you're new here, all of these items are available at the urbanbeater.com page. If you want to join the fun or if you need any of these tools, they are there. I do list the links on the Facebook Q Talk page in this video, in the description of this video. Okay, I am hoping that by tonight, definitely tomorrow morning, I will have all of November's projects posted. Pretty exciting. Actually, I'll show you. I was finishing them up today, so I'm pretty excited to have those almost done. Okay, I think my sandpaper's dead because I'm not getting anywhere here. I'm gonna grab some more sandpaper. Let's see if I have another sheet here. See if this one's gonna do me any better. But what I'm trying to do right now is I'm just trying to sand this to get this to a flat surface for soldering, okay? So you want a nice flat surface. And I like working in circles. Some people like working in figure eights. Not my thing. Circles seems to work better for me. And so what I'm doing is I'm sanding this to create a really nice, can you see that? A really nice tight connection, right? So that's what we're doing here. So you can see, like so. Again, if you don't care for the scroll design that I came up with, you can definitely do something like this. So this is another design. Can't really see that too well, but let's see. I didn't love this one, but that is another way to go about it, okay? So notice how I bridged it from side to side. So that's the key there, okay? So just about done with this. And you'll take the time out with your sandpaper and you'll clean up your solder. So here, what I'll do is just go right in here and I'll take the time out and clean this up, just like so. And you know what? Since I know what my curve is, my perfect little curve, I'm going to use my mandrel as leverage instead of my hands. So this will make it go a lot faster, because when you have leverage under your work, it'll happen a lot more easily. Yeah, see, look at that. It's coming right off. And back to the handy dandy trick of using a popsicle stick. This is going to go even faster. Wow, look at that. Nice and clean. So we're going to get all of that solder off and make it beautiful. Okay, so now it's just handiwork and taking your time to clean up the mess that you made, if you made any. If you were much neater than I am, then it wouldn't take very long, or it won't take very long. Okay, so just sit here and play with it. Okay, so that's your homework until next week. So you're going to make the scrolls, your scroll pattern. You're going to solder it on to the two outside pieces. You're going to curve it. You're going to clean off any of the solder. And then you'll make the back plate like so. You'll also curve that. And remember, we're sanding this way, sanding it down to get this to be a nice flat surface for soldering. All right, that is pretty much it. I know, I was really anticipating this to be a lot more belabored. I'm pretty excited. All right, anything else, Andy, except for the lottery ticket? That's it for us. All right, so thanks for hanging out. Thanks for joining us. I guess we will see you, if I'm not seeing you on Friday, I will see you on Monday, maybe twitching this weekend like I did last weekend. And oh, I forgot. Let me show you. Couple things. Yay. Okay. So excited for this project. So this is going to come up for November, new November project. This is going to be fall leaves with a little dewdrop. Look at that. We got a dewdrop on a fall leaf. Okay. And then we have Metal Immersion. I have a new project because Metal Immersion will go virtual. We're tightening up that schedule now, and it'll be posted here very soon. But we're doing an inlay project for Metal Immersion, so that's another one. And then what's new for November is we're changing up Minimal Metal Monday to Hot and Cold Mondays, right? So we're going to do a sister project. So for every hot project, there is a cold sister, or if you like to say, for every cold project, there's a hot sister, depending on who you are. So here we are. So this is going to be the first in that series. It'll be towards the end of November, but you can look forward to that. So one's hot, one's cold, and I'm going to show you how to do both. Reasoning behind that is to teach people more technique to put into their arsenal, so that when you do when you approach your design, you have all these techniques that you can use to execute your design. Because you know what? If you only know how to do one thing, you can only do one thing, right? So if you know how to do it in many different ways, the world is your oyster. All right. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for subscribing on Twitch. Thanks for liking us and forward and sharing all these videos. I really appreciate it. We'll see you on Monday. Have a good one.